Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of the Iron Meditation, the Art of Living and Lifting podcast. I'm your host, Coach Michael. Have you seen a dead animal or a dead tree, dry leaves? If you observe nature, you'll notice a peculiar thing. Actually, two. First, there are no perfect straight lines in nature. Everything is kind of broken, quote unquote. It has some curvage in it. It has some roundish, some broken lines. And the second thing is that everything that is alive, it's flexible to some degree, be it young leaves on a tree or flowers, animals. Everything that is alive is absolutely soft and flexible, while, as I've mentioned, everything that is dead is absolutely rigid. And by alive, flexible, and soft, I don't mean hard or strong, because we rarely think about the difference between the two. The grass or the leaves, the young leaves, are very fragile, like children. Think about it. They are weak. They need our protection. They need our guidance. They're soft for the mental, psychological, their psyche. And yet they are very soft. They are very fluid. And that's why when we fall as kids, we don't break to pieces, and we rarely break anything in our body. And if we do, it heals almost as we were Wolverines, like leaves no trail. And the older we get, the closest we get to our point of ending the journey, the more rigid, the more stiff we become. And when we fall, and not necessarily in the physical sense, we tend to break. And these fractures heal for a very long time, and often they do not heal completely. Also, as we get older, we tend to become more stiff and rigid in our mental models, in our behavior, in our tolerance. And this brings me to success. This brings me to creating progress and to the myth of discipline. Discipline is not natural. Habits are, but not discipline. Because discipline means something linear, something very straight through. And as we've begun our discussion, our journey, linear does not exist in nature. Oh, and by the way, even Army, the Navy SEALs, the special ops who put discipline on the limelight, the prime location, they are acting on habits and instincts because they respond differently to the different situations. Although they tools that they use are the same. Same as tree grows a bit differently in the north or in the south, whereas a lot of light or low light, but it is still a tree. So let's look at discipline as a habit and instinct creation. And that immediately allows us first the room to breathe, to create, and then the different perspective. Because I've seen many people break because they were stuck in this concept of discipline and rigidity, which leads to this idealism of perfect workouts. Let's talk gym talk for a second, because as I always say, what you do on a platform is what you do in your life. So this perfect day, perfect setup, perfect training analogy fails people. They expect the linearity, the rigidity of their performance, while life imposes completely different conditions almost on the daily basis. Perfect example being here in Israel, when we woke up on Saturday with plans to go having a bike trip to the Sirens, and suddenly war began. And the Great Recession in America, people woke up and they discovered that everything that they own is worthless. Okay, and these examples are too many to put into the 10-minute episode, but you get my point. So what the secret to success, be it in your training, be it in your life, be it in your business, is being, the soft as kids, the flexible as kids, is to adapt to the situation, is not beating yourself up. It's not expecting the same performance to the day, and is on instincts and habits, knowing how to adapt to the situation. And if you observe kids, you see that if the dynamic is when somebody don't want to play, they create another game and they play. So the habits and the instincts of the social gathering is there, but there is no rigidity. And very rigid children have their own trouble later in the society, because nothing works by the stump of a little foot thinking, but I want this. Next time that you hug your kid, or you hug your cat or a dog, feel how soft they are, how warm, how unlinear their body is. They're alive. Same is your dream, your business, your creation, your training plan. So hug it, even metaphorically. Feel it and allow it to express itself by habits and instincts, like a captain of a ship that don't drive the ship into the wave because the shore is on the straight line, but understands that if he wants to get to the shore in the first place, then, like the nature and the wave, sometimes he must pivot, he must turn, he must even turn back, while constantly moving forward.